All right, betting pros. My name is Terell Furman Jr., and I am here with my top 5 NCAA tournament bets that I'm making. Not to be confused with the ATS bets. I will have plenty of those bets going over the course of the entire tournament, and you can actually compete against me and a whole bunch of other people in betting pros, listeners, analysts, all of that in our NCAA Pick'em contest. So, if you think you know college hoops, then take your knowledge over to the next level with our Pick'em contest, sponsored by FanDuel. Pick your winners and make your predictions against the spread all tournament long, and you'll have a chance to win up to $1,000 in FanDuel DFS credits, signed jerseys, and free annual Betting Pros subscriptions. So, best part, it's completely free. Get over there. It's at bettingpros.com/contest. That is bettingpros.com/contest to get into that March Madness Pick'em contest. Top 5 plays. Let's get into it. Number 5 coming in. Okay. At first, I had written down Wisconsin not to make the Sweet 16. I'm going to fade Wisconsin basketball. Wisconsin is 1-5 ATS in their last 6 tournament games. Their late game offense has been atrocious all year. Guard, it feels like they're kind of getting tired of him. And you really looked at it in that Big Ten tournament game of like you watched them really, really blow that game to Michigan. And the late game offense is just them putting up random shots and thinking that they're just going to go in and that there's a magnet in the rim and that they're automatically going to have the touch. There's no game plan. They kind of sit on the ball until the bottom of the shot clock and then finally make a move and nothing happens. And so I told myself I'm fading Wisconsin. However, when I looked at the number, it was minus 110 to fade them. So I decided, all right, how do we fade them creatively? Well, I don't think that they're going to fold to Montana in the first round. They lost to JMU in the first round last year, and I think that they're actually going to be very, very focused on at least getting past Montana, but it's that second round game against VCU or BYU because that's 2 different style of teams. If they try to go into a shooting match with BYU, they're going to get shot out the gym because Wisconsin doesn't have the offense to keep up. And VCU is a really, really gritty defensive team. So if they get past that BYU team, I think that VCU's defense has enough where Wisconsin's going to be grasping at straws for offense, and VCU knows how to play that kind of nitty-gritty game. Plus, I think Matt Shugo is going to have a really good tournament. So I decided to take what I was going to take to fade Wisconsin, split it in half, so basically half a unit there, put it on BYU and on VCU, and I got a bigger return than if I just put the full unit on Wisconsin. So that's what I'm doing, taking half a unit, putting it on BYU plus 210 to make the Sweet 16, and VCU plus 380 to make the Sweet 16. Not very confident on which one of those twos get out of that 6-11 matchup, but I think either one of them is going to make the Sweet 16. So I'm going to take a little sprinkle there on both. All right, another team that I look to fade in the tournament, Maryland, because I understand the Crab Five are amazing, and they have carried this team as far as they could over the course of the regular season. But you're going to need depth in the tournament. If there is any issue, foul trouble, whatever, they have nothing on the bench. Absolutely nothing on their bench. So I think this is going to be a very good spot because Colorado State and Memphis, 2 teams that I'm also kind of split on in the bracket of, I could see either one of them advancing. I've seen a lot of people that said they think Colorado State, the favorite as a 12 seed, is going to move on. But I don't think that Memphis has that quit in them yet. And I think Penny Hardaway is going to show them, hey, look at you. You're an underdog to begin the week as the 5 seed. And he's really, really going to get that team up. So I like another split unit here because it was plus 130 to fade Maryland in the tournament, not to make the Sweet 16. However, Colorado State to make Sweet 16 plus 380, Memphis plus 490. So you're getting better odds than in the BYU and VCU bet of this. So I like Colorado and Memphis. I'm going to sprinkle on both of them to make the Sweet 16. If I hit one of those bets, it's a bigger return than what I'm really doing, which is saying Maryland is not going to make the Sweet 16. And I don't think Grand Canyon has the run in them. Sorry, guys. with that, hey everyone, March Madness is here, and we know you want skin in the game. Our partner, Profit X, is a peer-to-peer sports exchange available in 40 plus states with the best odds all tournament long. That's right, a peer-to-peer sports exchange, the first of its kind in the United States. You will be able to make your sports picks against other groups of fans rather than the sports books. Exchanges guarantee you the best odds on average by 10 to 20%. Even request your own odds. Like, you can make your own bets and request your own odds on them. So really cool stuff over there at ProfitX today. Go download ProfitX today. Get up to $300 in profit cash with code BettingProsMM. That is BettingProsMM. And you can get up to $300 in profit cash with code BettingProsMM. For my third bet, I have this thing that I do where I get really, really emotional on Selection Sunday because there is always a team that I have hitched my horse to, and I've said I can't wait to see that team in the tournament. And then there's some undeserving Power 4 team that gets in, and I'm very, very annoyed about it, and I fade them in the tournament. In years past, that has gone wrong. Most recently, NC State last year, who made it all the way to the Final Four. So many times that I've done this, so I've decided I'm just going to fade myself this year because this North Carolina team is the team that everybody has talked about was not deserving of getting into the tournament. How did they get in? How did they get in? Why was it between them? Why were they automatically going to get in? And all of this, and they wanted to see West Virginia, who people didn't even think were on the bubble. So they've been talking bad about North Carolina all week. I know they heard it. Unfortunately, North Carolina was actually pretty solid in the non-conference. The ACC really, really drugged them down, but they were pretty okay in the non-conference. They had some games that were in their grasp, and they kind of just let them go. And they're going up against San Diego State in the first four. Mountain West team in the NCAA tournament have not fared well at all. So, if they get past the first four game, we hear people talk about those 11 seeds that always make runs after the first four. North Carolina might do it. You get Chris Beard, who's kind of checked out over there at Ole Miss, and something just doesn't smell right. Plus, I kind of told myself that I was fading the SEC teams in the tournament. I feel like they went through that gauntlet of the SEC, played all those teams, and they really, really went to war, and then they're going to get to the tournament and kind of flop. So that made it annoying because I was like, oh man, what if they beat that Ole Miss team? And then if they beat that Ole Miss team, what if they just get hot and go on a little run? So I'm going to fade my first reaction and what I did last year with NC State. And I'm going to take North Carolina because I think North Carolina can make a little bit of a run and find themselves in the Sweet 16. Now, getting past the Sweet 16 against Michigan State, I don't know. I think that Michigan State team's pretty good. But I think they can at least get to the Sweet 16, and it's plus 640. So I'm going to sprinkle a little bit there on North Carolina at plus 640 in the Sweet 16. Then my last two bets that I'm making, first off is Oregon to make the Sweet 16 at plus 220. I love Dana Altman as a coach. I think he's a very good coach, great ATS coach in the tournament. 5-1 ATS this season is Oregon on a neutral site. They're way better on a neutral site than they are at home. But I really like this because if they do get past that Liberty squad, who I think is going to make things challenging, and they're going to be in the game, but I like Oregon to be able to do what it takes at the end to get it done and get the cover in that one. But I like them against Arizona. Last time they played that Arizona team, they knocked them off in the Pac-12 tournament. So I like them in Arizona. They have familiarity with Arizona, and I think defensively they match up really well, and they can force Caleb Love into a bad game. And then if Caleb Love gets into a bad game in the tournament, I think that you're in the game. So I like Oregon to be able to get that done if they beat Arizona, if they get Arizona, or what I also really think is possible of happening. I think Akron is live against Arizona in the first round. This Akron team is a really, really good team in the MAC, and they might be one of those little Cinderella squads that catches them a W in the first round over the 4 seed. So I think that it's not impossible that this possibly Akron that Oregon gets in this game. And then if it's Akron, I feel even better about this. So I like Oregon at plus 220 to make it to the Sweet 16. I think that there's a path there. I like the good coach. I think he has a really, really good team here to make himself a little run in the tournament. So I like Oregon in that spot. And then finally, last bet I'm going to make. I think that they are so disrespected as a 1 seed. Houston to reach the Final Four is plus 120 on FanDuel. I think that is completely disrespectful because all the other 1 seeds are laying juice. They're saying that, and Houston's been disrespected all year, actually, if I think about it, because they had the early loss to Alabama, the early loss to Auburn, the early loss to San Diego State, and then everybody kind of wrote them off as, oh, Houston's good, but they're not the Houston team of the past. Yes, they are. They're better. They're better than those Houston's team because this team is 10th in KenPom in offense. They can score the basketball. They have 3 really, really good guards in LJ Cryer, Emmanuel Sharp, and Milos Uzan, who they trust in late game situations in offense to keep the offense going with the basketball, to score as playmakers, to do all of that. And then plus, everybody is a really, really good defender, number 2 in defense on KenPom. So I think this Houston team is being disrespected. I think Houston is actually going to cruise to the Final Four through their region, and plus 120. When looking at the odds compared to all the other 1 seeds, I don't think Houston is one of the 1 seeds that's going to cost themselves a Final Four appearance. So I like Houston to make the Final Four plus 120, and that's it. Those are my 5, really 7 bets that I'm making in the NCAA tournament. BYU and VCU to make the Sweet 16, BYU plus 210, VCU plus 380, Colorado State plus 380 to make the Sweet 16, Memphis plus 490 to make the Sweet 16. I got North Carolina. Oh, this is just a fade, but let's sweat them. Everybody said that they're dead in the water. Let's sweat them and see. Plus 640 to make the Sweet 16. Oregon to make the Sweet 16 at plus 220, and Houston to make it all the way to the Final Four at plus 120. All right, I'm at reallyreal__. Make sure you give me a follow on X, at BettingPros on X and TikTok, at BettingPros NFL on Instagram, and YouTube.com/BettingPros, where you can subscribe, like, comment on all of our stuff over there in the Betting Pros community. Catch up on all the March Madness stuff all March long. With that, that's it. I have nothing else to say, nothing else to do, no other way of ending this. Just gonna end it. We are out of here.